My sister just came from Africa, and she wanted to show off my new figure. This is the mood. Dream catchers. Yeah! My sister Naomi, I love you. Everything you're doing for our people. A true queen. This is our mood right here.
We going to Nigeria, brother?
We going to Nigeria. We going to Kenya, Ivory Coast, Senegal.
Oh my goodness, y'all need to sit down for this because the tea I'm about to spill is scalding hot. The situation in Diddy's camp isn't just simmering anymore, it's reached full boiling point. Here's the bombshell that's got everyone talking. The new FBI director, Kash Patel, has just announced he's ready to blow the lid off both the Epstein and Diddy lists. And let me tell you something juicy. There's one name that everyone is absolutely certain will be on Diddy's list, and it's none other than his self-proclaimed sister, the one and only Naomi Campbell.
Puffy is really like my brother. He is so protective of me, and I'm the same for him. He is the kindest, the loyal, generous. We always say each other, we love each other. I'm going to see him this weekend. I'm going out west, and I'm so proud of Puff.
You and Puffy are very close.
Very.
Now, y'all know we've been dancing around this conversation for years, but it's finally time to address the elephant in the room. How is it that Miss Naomi Campbell's name somehow manages to pop up in literally every single nasty scandal that rocks the industry? From Weinstein to Epstein, from Diddy to those infamous blood diamonds, and even allegations about stealing charity funds. The universe is practically screaming at us to have this conversation, and hold on to your wigs because I just found out that Miss Tyra Banks allegedly has some piping hot tea she's ready to pour about Naomi Campbell.
I had a very painful early days in Paris. As much as I was booking every single fashion show, people didn't know I was going home at night crying my eyes out because the woman that I was looking up to seemed like she just didn't want me to be there and was doing everything in her power to make me go away. And I didn't understand that as a young girl. Like, why is she doing this? This is so evil. This is so awful.
Before we dive into all that drama between Tyra and Naomi, and trust me, it's juicy, we need to talk about why people are demanding an investigation into Naomi Campbell's connection to Diddy and what role she might have played in his alleged crimes. Now, even though Miss Naomi has been keeping quieter than a church mouse about everything that's gone down with Diddy, let me expose something that's crystal clear. These two have been joined at the hip for over 2 decades. Let me pull out these receipts because, baby, they're endless. First up, we've got this super lovey-dovey photo Naomi posted with Diddy, and the caption will make your jaw drop. She wrote, "You inspire me every day, your passion and your drive for perfection, your spirit ignites, I love you, brother." But wait, it gets better. During his 50th birthday celebrations, she went even further, posting this video saying, "Happy 50th, brother, wishing you another 50 forever by my side." If that's not giving ride or die energy, I don't know what is. And honey, the evidence doesn't stop there. I've got a whole folder of photos showing them together, including countless shots with Cassie. There's this particularly interesting one from Dubai where they're all looking cozy as can be. But here's where things get really interesting. Naomi was actually the mastermind behind Diddy's extravagant birthday bash in November 2023. But chilly, listen to this. Just 1 week after throwing this lavish party, Cassie comes forward with those shocking accusations against Diddy, and suddenly Miss Naomi is doing a social media cleanse faster than you can say delete. She tried to scrub every single trace of that party from her accounts, but honey, the internet never forgets. Now, what's really got people talking is the possibility that Naomi might have witnessed everything that happened to Cassie and others around Diddy, but chose to stay silent. And if this pattern sounds familiar, it's because we've seen it before with the whole Epstein situation. Speaking of which, let me refresh your memory about that whole mess. About 2 years ago, this judge looked at all these sealed documents and said, "There's absolutely no legal reason to keep these names hidden." That's when they started revealing almost 200 people connected to Epstein, and guess whose name kept popping up like a bad penny? That's right, Miss Naomi Campbell. Now this is where the story gets really interesting. Initially, Naomi tried to play it cool, acting like she barely knew Epstein. But child, when people started bringing out those receipts, she had to switch up her story real quick. She finally admitted that her ex-boyfriend Flavio Bor introduced her to Epstein on her 31st birthday, and mentioned how Epstein was always front and center at those those Victoria's Secret fashion shows. She tried to spin it like Epstein was just using her name to attract young models, claiming he exaggerated their relationship. Can you believe she had the audacity to say she deeply regrets having any contact with Epstein after his conviction? She really tried to act like he was just one of hundreds of thousands of people she took pictures with, claiming she had no idea about what he was doing.
This is a direct character assassination. I've always said that I'm not a saint, that I am a work in progress, but I will not be held hostage by my past. What he's done is indefensible. And when I heard of what he'd done, it sickened me to my stomach, just like everybody else, because I've had my fair share of predators, and thank God that I had good people around me that protected me from this. I mean, right now I stand with the victims. I can't, they're scarred for life. For life. I've rubbed shoulders with hundreds of thousands of people.
When the heat got too hot, Naomi came out with this whole statement about how if your neighbor or colleague does something wrong, you shouldn't be guilty by association, and called it unfair and said it must be stopped. But here's the real tea. While she was trying to distance herself from Epstein, people weren't buying what she was selling. The general consensus was that with all that interaction, there's no way she didn't see something suspicious.
We did a fashion show. I don't remember what it was. It might have been Jenny or something like that in Milan. And we were doing that fashion show backstage, and you came up to me right when I was about to walk out, and you said something. And it's so funny because it was so surreal at the time when you said it. I didn't think that you could actually say something like that.
What did I say?
You said something like, "You'll never be me, don't ever think that you'll be me," and something like that. I said that? Yes.
Now, before we get into all that drama, we need to give credit where credit is due. Both these queens absolutely shattered those glass ceilings for women of color in the fashion industry. Let me break it down for you. In 1988, Naomi made history as the first black model to grace the cover of French Vogue. And then bam! The very next year, she became the first black model to land American Vogue's prestigious September issue. And in 1997, she broke another barrier by becoming the first black woman to open a Prada show. Meanwhile, Tyra was out here making her own kind of history. In 1996, she became the first black woman to serve face on both the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue and GQ. Then she went and became the first black woman on Victoria's Secret's catalog cover, became an angel, and honey. She was the first woman of color to rock that $1 million fantasy bra. And speaking of parallel moments in their careers, in 1991, Tyra was serving looks in Michael Jackson's Black or White video, and then the very next year, there's Naomi being the leading lady in The Closet. But Chile, that's where the similarities end and the drama begins. Everyone and their mama assumed that because Tyra came after Naomi, Miss Campbell felt threatened and tried to destroy Tyra's career. The tension got so thick you could cut it with a knife, and in 2005, things finally came to a head when Tyra invited Naomi onto her show to hash it out. And baby, when I tell you Tyra did not hold back, she spilled all the tea. She revealed how Naomi once said backstage, "You'll never be me, don't think you can be me." She even brought up how Naomi called her the B word and threatened her about a photo shoot in Angola. But Miss Naomi, she sat there cool as a cucumber, denying everything. She had the nerve to say, "That doesn't sound like me to people who know me." Child, Tyra wasn't having any of it. She brought receipts for every single thing Naomi ever did to her.
And then you said, "I have to ask you something." Right. See, I remember this because I was so new and young. You said, "I have to ask you something. Do they try to make you look like me?"
Right.
And I said, I don't know about so much now, but in LA, yeah, they really did with the little short black whips
that.
and
you
stuff.
told me that, yeah,
yes.
I remember.
And Naomi, you got up, pushed me away and said, "Yeah, I thought so." And you turned.
I did?
You went from the sweetest woman that was giving me vitamins to someone that terrified me on that trip.
Oh my God.
And
understandable, I can understand.
I was told on that trip that I was sent home because you don't want me there anymore. So I didn't finish that trip. True. That's what I was told.
I don't have the power than a winter.
Now, here's where the plot thickens. After all that drama on the show, Naomi apologized and they hugged it out like everything was sunshine and rainbows. Everyone thought we'd finally seen the end of fashion's biggest feud. But hold on to your weaves, because more than a decade later, Tyra dropped another bombshell. She was still scared of Naomi. In this absolutely jaw-dropping interview with Wall Street Journal, Tyra set the record straight about their so-called rivalry. She was like, hold up, this wasn't even a rivalry because that would mean we were equals. She spilled how when she started, Naomi was already the supermodel, while Tyra was just this new girl fresh off the plane from Paris, studying fashion magazines in the library like a student. And then she dropped this heartbreaking revelation that had everyone in their feelings. Even though she was booking every single fashion show and living what looked like a dream life, she'd go home crying her eyes out every night. Why? Because this woman she looked up to seemed determined to make her disappear from the industry faster than last season's trends. But wait, because this story gets even juicier, another model, Elsa Mimbo, came forward with similar accusations that had everyone shook. She said Naomi straight up sabotaged her modeling opportunities and tried to control her career like some kind of fashion industry puppet master. Poor Elsa even revealed she fell into depression and heavy drinking after Naomi allegedly blackballed her. And when Elsa had the courage to speak up about their toxic friendship, Chile, she claims she got threatened, saying Naomi would expose her text messages about past issues with white executives who wanted to sleep with her. The mess of it all. After all this tea came to light, people started looking at Tyra's old stories differently, thinking maybe sis was telling the truth all along. But Miss Naomi just couldn't let sleeping dogs lie. In 2020, she showed her whole behind when she posted and quickly deleted, but screenshots are forever, honey. An article titled, "Here's Why Fans Are Starting to Think Tyra Banks is the Real Mean Girl, Not Naomi Campbell." The shade, the audacity, the nerve, and now, with all these allegations about Diddy swirling around Naomi like a bad perfume, word on the street is that Tyra's been saying she's not surprised at all, especially after those shocking reports about Naomi's charity, Fashion for Relief, founded in 2005 supposedly to help fight poverty, but guess where most of that money went? Spa treatments and cigarettes. Only a tiny portion actually went to helping people in need. Can you believe the scandal? Looking at all this evidence, it's like connecting dots in a very disturbing picture. Can it really be just coincidence that Naomi's name keeps coming up in all these scandalous situations? From Epstein to Weinstein, from Diddy to charity fraud, it's starting to look less like bad luck and more like a pattern. And about Diddy, how much did she really know? Was she more involved than we think? Is she really just an innocent bystander who happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time multiple times? Or is there something more sinister going on? And this whole ongoing drama with Tyra, there's clearly more to this story than meets the eye. When you look at how many other models have similar stories about Naomi, it really makes you wonder what else might come out in the coming weeks. Like they say, where there's smoke, there's fire, and right now, honey, it's looking like a whole forest fire. What do y'all think about all this? Is Naomi Campbell really just misunderstood, or is she more involved in these scandals than she wants us to believe? And what about her relationship with Diddy? Was she really clueless about what was allegedly going on, or did she turn a blind eye? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this tea is piping hot and we need to discuss. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more juicy updates on this developing story.